Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one because we are going to be doing an anti-haul. There have been a lot of makeup releases lately and I am so excited to discuss what I won't be purchasing and why, because there's a lot of it. I've said this before on my channel, but recently I've gotten a lot more picky in what I decide to purchase, and these launches just did not make the cut for me. Today I was actually going to film a video that required a bit more research. I was going to film a video about packaging that I really don't like. I really love watching other people's videos about packaging that they hate and why, but the last like 4 or 5 days I've had a really hard time focusing on literally anything. The last video that I filmed was the top 10 eyeshadow palettes video. I'll link it in the cards up above. Normally that would take me a couple hours to edit, and it actually took me 3 whole days to edit it. So that just kind of gives you like a sense of where my brain is at. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's probably anxiety related. It usually is. I have been a little more anxious and on edge. No panic attacks, thank goodness, but yeah, just a lot of trouble focusing. So please be patient with me if I don't have as many uploads going up. That's why. Also, I'm just kind of, focusing on actually putting content out there instead of doing well-researched videos right now, just because that just seems very daunting to me, and then I just kind of stare at my computer screen for hours and get nothing done. So this one is going to be just like kind of me putting my opinions out there on stuff that I don't really like and why. It's not really something that I put a ton of research into. I just screenshotted a bunch of stuff that I know I won't be purchasing and thought we could discuss it. So thank you so much for your patience with me. Hopefully I'll be getting back on track soon, but my brain is just like right now. So also, if this video is a little bit scatterbrained, that is why. Okay, so I have everything saved on my phone. Also, I was listening to the Approachable podcast by Samantha Ravindal and Alyssa Anderson while I was getting ready to film this video, and it was the episode on Samantha's birth story, and found out that she was leaving the podcast, and that makes me very sad. I'm a little rattled by that. Without further ado, let's get into the makeup because that's what you guys are here for. So I will scooch over and I can put my little photos here as I do. The first product I want to talk about is a newer release or a newer announcement. I don't know if it's launched yet. I'm not very knowledgeable on a lot of these launches about like when they launch or when they were announced or anything, just because I'm so not interested that it doesn't really matter to me. So I don't even know if this is out yet, but this is a new eyeshadow palette with Buxom and Ash Combe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think this eyeshadow palette is incredibly basic. I don't know, usually I really like the warm tones with a pop of blue and purple, as I discussed in my last video, but this one just doesn't do it for me. I think it's just too many really basic shades. Like the only colors I'd be interested in are the 2 purples and the blue. Maybe that really pretty bronzy taupe on the bottom left, but other than that, everything is super basic and kind of boring. I think I have heard good things about Buxom's eyeshadow formula, but this color story just does not speak to me whatsoever. I don't really have any feelings towards the collaborator, Ash Combe. I'm pretty sure she's a makeup artist like for Kardashians and celebrity and stuff, but her work isn't really something that I follow very closely, so the collaboration itself isn't really something that I'm interested in, because sometimes I can justify getting something if I really love the collaborator, like kind of with the ColourPop and Raw Beauty Kristi palette. I love Raw Beauty Kristi. I also did love that color story, so it is a little bit different, but I love Kristi. And even if I wasn't in love with Color Story, there is a higher chance that I would purchase something just because it is Kristi's. But yeah, that's not the case with this palette. I just don't really like it. I think it's super basic and very boring. Next up, I want to talk about Sun-Kissed Glimmering Skin Sticks from Lime Crime. I think this is kind of a cool concept. I believe they're like stick highlighters. I don't know. I mean, they look okay, but I feel like it's not very reminiscent of like what Lime Crime was. Lime Crime was very much an edgy brand. This is something I would more expect to see from Glossier. It just doesn't excite me like in the slightest. I don't really like the packaging. I don't really like the stick form. Like that's a very large stick. So unless you go in with a brush with the product and then to your face, I don't see it being very practical. I don't know. I just don't really like this concept. I did get a couple blush sticks from Pixi that kind of remind me of this product, like in the sense that they're larger sticks, but I don't know why. Those are like more like cream blushes, and these more so have a shimmery finish. So I can't see myself personally wanting to use these as anything but cream highlighters. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just not super into the concept. I really like the range of colors that they have. I think that's really nice. I don't really have any interest in these. That being said, Lime Crime is not really a brand that I've been interested in lately. I used to really want to try their eyeshadows for a while because I heard really good things. I just feel like they've been lacking as a brand, and they've kind of strayed away from that edgy brand image that they used to have, and now they're kind of confusing me. So yeah, this is definitely going in the no thanks pile. I have no interest in purchasing these. Next up, this one is very disappointing because I usually love this brand's concepts, like almost every single one, I think. This is by Melt, and it is the Brunette palette. This is boring. This is straight up boring. First of all, they launched something pretty similar with the Mary Jane palette, even though that one was like more cool toned. I don't know, I just think this is super boring. There's no real concept here, like brunette, just brown. So it's all browns. They have some really beautiful concepts normally, and things that are very interesting as well, like those mini stack eyeshadow palettes with the, I think it's 5 shades in the mini stacks. They have beautiful, beautiful color stories. The one that I'm thinking of in particular, the collection, it has like the deep burgundy on one side of the palette and then like the beautiful jewel toned blues on the other side. That collection as a whole was just so beautiful, and I just feel like this is so basic in comparison. Like if they were gonna do a neutral palette, I feel like they should have really amped up either the packaging or the concept to really make people want to purchase it. But brunette, like that's not really a theme. The theme is brown, you know? I don't know. I just don't think it's something for me. And maybe some people have been waiting for Melt to launch something like this, but it just really fell flat for me personally. I would just hope for like a stronger concept because they really do put out really creative ideas. And I feel like the creative team at Melt really have the ability to make a neutral palette interesting, and they just didn't for this one. Next up is a collection by KKW Beauty. It's the Camo collection. I was wondering if since she got divorced, are they gonna change the KKW? Are they gonna remove the W and just do KK Beauty? I was just wondering that when I was looking at this collection. I do think this collection is very pretty, and I do think it is something different for Kim's brand. She usually does like all neutrals, and all of the eyeshadow palettes look exactly the same. So to have this pop of green is kind of nice, but I just don't have any interest in these products. The eyeshadow palette is really the product that's like the standout product, and I just think it's still too boring. The highlighters do look pretty, but again, I have a lot of those already. The shadow sticks, kind of cool, but I could just go with ColourPop. And then the lip glosses, that would probably be the product that I'm most inclined to try. I really do want to try Kim Kardashian's lip product formulas. I really enjoy the lip liner I have from her, so I would be interested to try those lip glosses, but not enough to like place an order. They're not unique enough, that's for sure. I don't know, I think this is just like what she usually does and then adding a pop of green, and I'm just not into it. Nowadays, I want something that's a little more creative than that. I think she could have done something really cool with the camo concept and gone like all greens and mustards and golds. I think that would have been cool, but she went very neutral and she played it very safe. And because of that reason, I am just not interested. Oh, next up, this one looks tacky as heck to me. This is the Makeup Revolution and Bratz collab. Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old for Bratz. I feel like Bratz is a very Gen Z kind of doll, whereas I played with Barbies. I'm more of a zillennial, so Bratz I think were just below my age range, just slightly. So yeah, I don't really like Bratz, and I think this palette looks incredibly tacky. Also, how many times did I say incredibly in my last video? I was editing it back and I was like, oh my god, like how many times are you gonna say that? So if that bothered you too, so sorry. I'm gonna try to say it less. I don't like the different pan sizes either, like the 3 down the middle. I don't like that. This is just really tacky looking to me. I don't know. I don't really like the color story. Nothing's speaking to me. The palette's too big. I just really don't think Makeup Revolution does collabs well. Every single collab I feel is on my anti-haul list. Even the Friends one, like I didn't want the Friends collection, and I love Friends. That's my favorite show. And I just really don't think they do collabs very well, and this one is no exception. I have literally zero interest in purchasing this. I could not be less interested. Ooh, another one that I don't really like. This is the collaboration. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this palette. I don't know. I'm not gonna try. But it's by Be Perfect Cosmetics and the Vivian. It's cut off. Hold on. Oh yeah, so it's just the Vivienne. I don't know who that is. Let me see. Oh, a drag queen. Oh, winner of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. Okay, they don't have their pronouns on here. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, this color story is just a no for me. It definitely does look like it would be a drag palette, and that makes a lot more sense to me now. I'm glad I looked that up because I was about to roast this palette to filth, but I get it a little more now. Again, I don't like different pan sizes. It's just a personal thing that just kind of freaks me out for some reason. I just don't like it. But now that I know that it's a drag palette, I do understand it because you have all of your neutrals and your white and black in larger pan sizes, and that's what drag makeup really uses quite a bit of, is the neutrals and black and white to really kind of manipulate the eye area and make it seem bigger or smaller in certain areas. So I understand the kind of concept a lot more now that I know that it's a drag palette, but I still don't really like it. I don't do a lot of drag makeup personally. It's just okay in my opinion. Again, I just easily get overwhelmed by color stories that are this big, that aren't like designated rainbow palettes. Like the Beauty Bay Bright 42 matte, it's very organized. You have your yellow row, your green row, your blue row, and it's organized. This is just all over the place. So when rainbow palettes are all over the place, it just kind of freaks me out a little bit. It just overwhelms my eyes and I don't know where I should look or what I should create or anything. So this is a definite pass for me. I don't really have anything from Be Perfect Cosmetics and I don't really have a desire to try it, but I do think for the right person, this could be a really fun release. Next up is a product from Kaja, and I do kind of see the appeal of these, but it's not for me personally. These are the Beauty Bento Bouncy Eyeshadow Trios, the Bento boxes, but these ones are all matte. I don't like that, especially because they're neutrals, but I do again think for the right person this could be really handy. For just like the average everyday makeup wear, this could be really cool. It's something tiny and compact for your makeup bag. If you're somebody that's on the go, like I do think there is a definite market for that. It's just not marketed to somebody like me who likes a ton of sparkle and shimmer. The Bento box that I got is one of the all shimmer ones because I really wanted to, you know, test out their shimmer formula because I heard it was really good. And I thought that would be like a nice add-on. If I'm gonna go all matte personally, I would probably go for something bigger than just a trio. It's a fine balance, you know, you can't go too big or else I get overwhelmed, but I can't go too small or else I feel like I don't have enough and I'm just doing the same look over and over again. But for some people, that's like what they want. They just want straight to the point. I want to do the same look every day, and that makes sense. So I feel like there is a market for this, but again, it's just not me. It's not for me. So I will definitely not be purchasing these, but I think they're a good idea. Next up, this is a princess collection by, oh, I can never pronounce this, Besame? I hope that's right. And they're doing a Disney collab. I believe it's a highlighter and a lipstick for each Disney princess. Is it every single one? Probably not. All your favorite characters in a series of 12 pieces. I guess it is every single one. Includes a enameled compact and matching lipstick. I don't know what the enameled compact would mean. And they're all launching at different times. The first one is Belle. Oh, that's so interesting. I literally could not care less. So we have Belle, Mulan, Ariel, Aurora, Jasmine, Cinderella, Merida. Who's that? Oh, that's the brave girl. Okay, Tiana, Pocahontas, Rapunzel, Moana, and Snow White. That is all of them. I've never seen a Disney collab that actually includes every single princess. So, I mean, if you're a big Disney nut, I could see this being something you'd be interested in, but I am personally not. So I don't really care. Like, I really don't. I wonder if they're going to announce the colors because I can't really speak on the colors. The Belle one looks nice, but that's the only one where I can see the colors, so I don't know about that. The packaging is beautiful. I like that it appears they have like different packaging for every princess. The thing is, they're $125 for the set, and there's only 500 units of each set, so this is definitely like more of a collector's item, and I personally like to use my makeup. I don't want to buy a set and just have it, you know, like sitting open on my vanity. That just seems like a waste of money and a waste of space for me, so I definitely will not be purchasing this. But if you're like a Disney collector, I mean, go for it, but I am not. So yeah, this is definitely not a launch for me. I just know it would be a waste of money for me. I'm not a huge Disney fan, so yeah, I will definitely not be purchasing, especially not for that price. That is pricey. $125 each for a highlighter and a lipstick. That is insane. I wonder how fast these will sell out. I'm assuming it will because they've only made 500 units, but I wonder how quickly it'll sell out. Next up, this is the new brow line by One Size. It's called Brow Kiki. I don't know what that means. It's just a brow line by Patrick Starr. The reason I will not be purchasing these is because I don't like Patrick Starr. I used to, and then he started getting very problematic, and I don't support that, so I won't really be supporting him. Plus his brand doesn't really intrigue me at all, not in the slightest. It's not for me personally. He just doesn't launch anything that's of interest to me as of yet, and this one's no exception. It just looks like a very basic brow pencil. Doesn't look like anything innovative or new, so yeah, I will not be purchasing for that reason. I have a brow routine that works for me, and this does not look like it's going to change my brow routine, so for that reason I'm gonna pass on this one. Ooh, next up is something by ColourPop. Can't believe I'm actually anti-hauling ColourPop. They launched 3 new palettes. It's the Lust for Dusk palette, as well as the High Tide palette and the Fine Feathered palette. I kind of like the High Tide one. The one thing I wish that it was, I wish they kind of made like a pun on teal, because it's a teal toned palette, and made it like Teal the Cows Come Home or something, and then made like one of their monochromatic collections. I feel like they stopped doing that, but they still have a lot of colors that they could do. They could do teal, they could do all olive. I wish they did that. And they could have had like a teal liner. They could have relaunched their liner in the color Catsuit that I have right here. This is, you know, this would be a nice launch. Maybe launch a little Super Shock trio. You know how they used to do it in the good old days. I was always so excited for those monochromatic collections, and apparently that's a thing of the past. The Lust for Dusk palette looks very boring to me. Looks kind of ashy. No desire to have that one at all. The Fine Feathered one, it's pretty, but it's not something I need to like rush out and buy. I just don't think any of these color stories, besides the teal one, but I don't like the teal marketing, so I'm not gonna get it. I just don't think any of them really speak to me. So for that reason, I am just going to pass on all 3. Next up is a palette by Glam, and it is not the Michaela collaboration. I was considering putting that in this video, but I do really like Michaela, so I don't want to write off that launch completely. It's just a really big color story, and I am overwhelmed because everything's like very jumbled, so I don't think I'll be picking it up, but again, I don't want to like completely write that one off because who knows, I would consider it. But this one, this is the Red Velvet Cupcake palette by Glam. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. Usually I really like pinks and reds and purples. That's kind of like my jam, but I don't see it. I don't see the vision. I don't really get red velvet vibes from this palette. I just get like reds and pinks. Like this looks like Valentine's Day to me. I just feel like it's a weird time to kind of launch this. I would see it for Valentine's Day, but not for right now. I don't know. I just don't really get red velvet vibes from just looking at it. Like there are some palettes where you look at it and you're like, oh, I can totally see that vision. Like you can almost tell the concept before you even really read it, or just by looking at the color story, you can see the concept. But yeah, I don't get this from this palette. And for a red velvet palette, I would think that I would want to, you know what I mean? Oh, next up, I really hate this as well. Actually, the color story isn't bad. I'm kind of like a little hesitant to try the brand because I haven't really heard anyone talk about the brand. I don't know. It's the Clueless collab by Hip Dot. I don't really know much about the brand and their quality. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about them. First of all, I said I like the palette color story. It's not my favorite except for the bottom row. The first 2 rows are like very neutral and kind of boring, but the bottom row I like, but I'm not gonna buy a palette just for the bottom row. I'm also not a very big Clueless fan. That was before my time. I was very young when Clueless came out, so yeah, not my thing either. Yeah, it's a blush palette. Okay, those look very tiny to be blushes. I feel like I would not be able to get a blush brush in there. So that's a big thing for me. I think they could have done a better job. I don't really get Clueless vibes from this palette. The packaging for the lip oils, like that little yellow plaid packaging, I definitely see Clueless vibes there, but that's about it, honestly. So yeah, this one is going to be a big pass from me. I'm just not a Clueless fan and I don't love the execution. Next up, I want to talk about the XO Beauty wedding collection. I think this is really boring and I feel like the colors look kind of ashy. I get that it's a bridal palette and I do kind of get where they're going with it. And I like the packaging, but that's about as far as it goes. I don't really like anything else. I mean, the highlighter palette looks kind of nice, but I don't think I would buy a highlighter palette. I'm more into highlighter singles right now, so that's no from me. The palette looks kind of ashy. I don't really like it. I don't even think I would get that for my kit. For my kit personally, I really like to create my own color stories so that I know that I'm going to get a lot of use out of each color I put in there. Each one I like to choose myself, so I'm not totally into pre-made palettes, but even if I did have a pre-made palette in my kit, this would not be it. I I don't know what it is. It's just not really selling me, you know? Some of the colors look a little bit ashy almost. I would have to see it in person to determine, but yeah, this is definitely not something that I'm interested in. It's a little bit boring from a consumer perspective and just not what I'm looking for from a makeup artist perspective. Next up is a collab from Ariel and Morphe, makeup by Ariel, Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. First of all, Morphe's no longer cruelty free, so won't be purchasing for that reason alone. I guess I shouldn't really be talking about it on my channel. My mistake. This will probably be the last time I mention Morphe. Hopefully I remember. I have the memory of an actual golden retriever, so I forgot they weren't cruelty free for a second when I screenshotted this. Honestly, I think it's a weird collaboration. I'm not interested. I don't like it. I think they look kind of cheap, and I don't really like white handles on brushes. They get dirty super fast, so definitely not interested in that for that reason. I also find it weird that he's collabing with Morphe as opposed to Kylie. Like, I don't know, maybe she just didn't offer a collab, but I feel like that would have been a better fit. So I highly doubt you're using Morphe brushes on your celebrity clients. Let's be real. So yeah, this is a definite pass for me. It just seems kind of like a money grab for Ariel, actually, and for Morphe on both parties. Just seems like a cash grab. And yeah, I'm not interested for that reason. Another one I wanted to talk about briefly. This is the MAC collaboration with Cruella. Look how ugly that palette is. Oh my gosh. I've seen a lot of people talk about it because, like, what the actual hell were they thinking at MAC? I don't understand. I don't know. That is just craziness to me. That is one of the worst looking palettes I've seen in a very long time. When I first looked at it, I thought it was a collab with like an abstract artist or something. It's not. It's supposed to be Cruella de Vil. I don't get Cruella vibes from that palette at all. Like, not in the slightest. The lipstick's okay because they, you know, have red. And the double-ended eyeliner I think is kind of cool with the white and black. But the palette, like, where do you get Cruella vibes from this besides the white and black? I personally don't. So yeah, oh yeah, MAC's not cruelty free either, so I'm not even supposed to talk about this. I'm the worst YouTuber ever. Again, I'm very scatterbrained lately, so I do apologize. I could cut this out, but I don't think I will. So yeah, this is a definite no for me. It's really ugly, and I don't really think I'm encouraging anyone to buy it by discussing it on my channel anyway. So next up is a product by e.l.f., which I find interesting. It is the Acne Fighting Putty Primer. I feel like they're kind of beating a dead horse with this putty primer kind of thing that they're doing. The first one was really popular. I have it. I don't really use it ever, so I just think it's kind of interesting that it's like an acne fighting primer, but it's very silicone-y at the same time. And I know for me personally, a lot of silicones cause me to break out. So I think it's kind of a paradox here. I don't really like it. I also don't like that it's green. Kind of freaks me out. I don't want to put green on my face for some reason. I feel like they're trying to stretch it too far. I think they should just keep it at, you know, the hydrating version makes sense. The regular version obviously makes sense, and I think they have a third one even, but this one just seems like it's a bit of a stretch, so that's why I will not be getting this. And lastly, I wanted to talk about the new Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. They relaunched this product. I used to love this foundation. I'll just put the shade range right here. Like, if you look at it on Tarte's page, it does look significantly better, but like, why would they even post this shade range? Because to my eye, this looks like there are probably 20 shades of white that are exactly the same, and then like 6 deeper shades. So I don't really understand. I don't get what they were trying to accomplish with this. They were torn apart on Trend Mood's page because of the shade range. I wish there were a couple more deep shades so that it would be like an equal amount. I don't know how to feel about this, but I definitely did not like that foundation enough to justify that kind of shade range. So I will not be purchasing this. I think that the shade little circles, there's no way someone saw that and was like, yeah, that looks evenly distributed to me. Why wouldn't you provide a shade overview of what is actually representative of this foundation range? So I don't really understand. I think it was a bad move, especially given Tarte's past and history. I should do like a little video on the shit Tarte's done because it's been a lot. I don't approve. So I will not be supporting this foundation launch, even though I did like the formula at one point, and I do think it was in need of an upgrade, especially in terms of the shade range. I just think this wasn't the way to do it personally. And that is everything for this video. This is my anti-haul. I would love to know your thoughts on a lot of of these products and launches. Will you be purchasing any of them? Are you interested in any or not? I would love to know. Please leave it in the comments. And yeah, that is everything from me today. I really hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. I just really appreciate you being here. It helps out my channel so very much by you watching, so thank you. Please leave any video requests you may have in the comments down below and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!